how did you build that single exe? So what this means is that when you download the game on Windows or on any OS really, it's just a single executable that's like 50 megabytes, you run it. And the second part of the question is like, how did you build that single exe? Is Raylib static and all your data is embedded as RTRC data type? So there's two things to it. Yes, Raylib is statically linked, so when you have a program, you can have lots of DLLs next to your program, or you can, inside the exe, you can put in the DLLs, and then your exe becomes bigger, but all the things are inside. So Raylib is statically linked, that's one thing, so there's no need for any external library. But so the Raylib is statically linked, and then in Odin there is a nice feature. I will pull out Sublime here and show you some. This will go right into some nice code here, that's good. I have a thing called an asset builder. Well, we can look at it like this actually. In my game, all my assets, there's a when switch in the code here. So this is like, if this compilation flag embed assets is true, then it runs this code, and if it's not true, then it runs this code down here. So when embed assets is true, then this is a list. This defines all the assets in the game. And if you look to the end of each line here, so this is the main cat running animation. But if you look at the end of this line, it says data equals load texture/cat.png. What this does is that during compile time, this is an Odin thingy. During compile time, it takes the file at that position and pulls it into the data of the exe, and then makes it into some kind of byte array that is static inside the program, and you can use. So the data will point to a array of stuff that is fine throughout the whole execution of the program. So that happens when embed assets is true, which happens when I make the release exe. When I'm working in a development build in my editor and stuff, then I want hot reload of the textures and stuff and sounds. So then I don't do this. This is only for the shipping. So the data is here, and then it just knows when it's gonna load a texture later in like asset manage, asset storage here. When it goes to load texture here, no, not this one. Yeah, it actually loads all textures on boot since they're also small. So when we init all the assets, then it says like, okay, are we embedding assets? Then we load them from memory, or we load them from texture, and the memory takes the data plop on each texture. So it goes through all these assets. This game is tiny, so it can load all the textures when it starts. It doesn't need to pull stuff in and out of memory and stuff. That's fine. So that's sort of those two things, statically linked Raylib plus this. Then you have your, and this one doesn't just do textures. If you look down here, you also have these, here are the fonts, here are the shaders, here are, now I'm moving some code, here are the sounds. Yeah. So that's how you get a 50 megabyte exe, sort of in the style of, I looked at Undertale, which is made in Game Maker. So it's sort of where it comes from. So thank you for that question. Srijan